In your headlines, a number of shootings and armed robberies in Providenciales over the weekend. And Minister of Education announces some very exciting news for islanders. From the PTV Broadcasting Headquarters in Providenciales, your number one source for news, I'm Erica Pinales, delivering the latest from across the country this Tuesday, March 15th, 2022, right to your door. Newswatch starts now. Sometime in January, roughly 5 weeks ago, Honorable Josephine Connolly, the Minister of Agriculture, launched an agro-grant incentive program in North and Middle Caicos. Since then, 9 farmers have been approved for grants. We bring you the details. The idea behind the grant incentive is to encourage new and existing farmers who wish to invest in modern farming technology or other upgrades on their farms to resist the effects of the changing weather patterns, reduce labor reliance, introduce efficient use of water, reduce cost of production, improve health and safety, as well as food safety.
It's so good to see each and every one of you. I promised you that I was going to do this, and that's why we're here this morning. And you are the first to be granted an agro grant. As you know, part of my government's mandate is to make sure that food security is in place. And we want you to take this grant, and we want to see you do your best, because I would like to be able to sell as much food from you guys than buying it from the supermarkets. So I'm depending on you to do well, and I wish you well. This is the first set of grants. I think we still have some pending, so all is not lost. I received a phone call from a few people asking me about their grant, but they're still going through the process. But I can see North Caicos benefiting from 98% of the grants that we have. So I implore you to use it wisely.
Agro-development and food security is key to building a sustainable country, the government has said, and with the various challenges and pandemic now being faced, it is important to invest in the agricultural sector.
My main project is to rejuvenate all the staples that we were used to having in North Caicos. That's like corn, okras, sweet potatoes, cassavas, pumpkins. But I also do corn on a larger basis because I turn corn into grits and corn flour. So today I'm externally grateful to the government of the Turks and Caicos Islands, and that especially Ms. Connolly, Honorable Connolly, who has taken the bull by the horn and leading us into this venture that we are at, this stage at the journey that we are about to begin. I am eternally grateful for the Agriculture Department, the MSME program, and all the other farmers like my buddy Courtney here, who we always have arguments about agriculture. But those are the things that I would like to see.
Casey Higgs, the owner of Caicos Traditions, a company she says strives to preserve the traditional staples that the people of the islands have always been accustomed to, demonstrated that with the right amount of support from the government, food security and the reproduction of more staples is attainable.
And today I also walk with some of my goods that I grow in my farm. I do have rosemary on a large scale.
Leave that right.
Pigeon peas, we are all accustomed to pigeon peas. I couldn't bring the frozen ones, so I bought the dry so that you would know. Dry beans. I also do, this is the corn flour that I mill from the corn. And we have 2 products, the corn flour, the grits, and the husk. The husk is used for my compost bin, and the grits and corn flour, I market them to IJ along with my beans and our pumpkins, sweet potatoes, and cassavas. So this is proof, testament, that these things can be grown and are grown in North Caicos. With the grant that we are getting now, they would be able to be more reproductive, more grown on a larger scale. That means when I ran out, Courtney's there, Mr. Mizik is there, Mr. Robinson is there. So this is a partnership, agriculture is not just a selfish thing. What I learned from agriculture, that's probably why I love it so much, it takes a lot of sharing and giving and taking, bartering, and I love that about that. So I want to thank everyone who has contributed in making today successful, especially Arnold Carnbley.
Emmanuel Mizik, better known as Manny Mizik, a senior farmer, gave remarks and extended a heartfelt thank you to Honorable Connolly for, as he said, fulfilling the promise that you and your government made to the people.
Thanks for the interest you and your government is showing in farming. Welcome to those who are just getting involved. Courtney and I caught hell. He started a little before me. That is why I pointed to you to be first, because you're nearer to the port than I am also. It takes money to buy land. And it takes money, more money, to farm the land you buy. I bought over 70 acres in North Caicos. I still own it. It takes money to farm that. And I welcome all of you trying to get involved. Pay special congratulations to every minister of your government who is backing you in this thing called farming, because we need this. By the way, let me hear all the farmers in here say we can do it.
Oh yeah, we can do it. We can do it.
We're going to do it.
Absolutely.
All right.
I'm ready to do it because at 89, almost 89, for me to be here, I gotta be serious.
The announcement of the grants as proved was welcomed by all the farmers, along with the announcement of the new Director of Agriculture, Wilhelmina Kissensing. Don't go anywhere, more News Watch when we return.
This is a reminder that all PTV service accounts are due on the first day of each month. Accounts should be brought up to date by the 28th of the month to avoid disruption in service. Payments may be made on our office at Stubbs Diamond Plaza, Providenciales, Mides Plaza, North Caicos, and Airport Road in South Caicos. Payments may also be made online using Scotiabank, CIBC First Caribbean Bank, and Royal Bank of Canada. Please allow 3 business days for online payments to be processed. We thank you for your cooperation.
Welcome back to News Watch. The Turks and Caicos Islands is losing its first locally appointed judge of the Supreme Court. More in this report.
Speculation is swirling about Judge Carlos Salmon not being returned for another year on the judge's bench at the end of this month, since the judiciary is short on judges. This is almost 1 year after the governor expressed his hopes that Simmons' appointment as a judge in the Supreme Court, the first time being in March 2020 and the second in April 2021, would lead to a more permanent appointment. Last year, upon his appointment for 1 year to the bench, Governor Nigel Dakin said it is his hope that as a more permanent position emerges, Simmons' experience in the role will allow him to compete with the best in the region in an interview process run by the Judicial Services Commission. This, the governor had said, will consolidate the steps forward that are being taken in the wider justice sector under the guidance of Chief Justice Mabel Ajman. When he leaves, the Supreme Court will have a cohort of just 3 judges: the Chief Justice herself, Justice Tanya Laban Jackson, and Judge Shiraz Aziz, all serve in Grand Turk and Providenciales, with ambitious plans this year to offer court services in the other family islands. A notice from the registrar's office last week indicated that Judge Salmons will demit office on March 31, 2022, and that a special sit-in will be held in his honor on March 29. Salmons is the first Turks and Caicos Islander to be appointed to the judicial bench of the islands, a source of pride for many. He brought to the bench a wealth of experience and knowledge, having led his law firms, Miller, Salmons and O'Sullivan, Civil and Commercial Division for many years. He was admitted to the TCI bar in January 1984, appointed as Queen's Counsel in January 2002, and as an officer of the British Empire in June 2002. For PTV News Watch, I'm Delana Isles.
A busy weekend for officers of the Royal Turks and Caicos Islands Police Force as we learn of reports of a number of shootings and armed robberies. Newswatch tells you what we know of these incidents thus far.
A spree of armed robberies over the weekend. One man found shot to death while another remains in hospital after being shot in broad daylight, and another fighting to stay alive. Mary Jane Lane was the crime scene after reports called in the discovery of a dead body. Sources later say he was known as Haitian national Gary Charles and was no stranger to the law, having been fingered in a number of rape and robbery lineups. Similarly, a man escaping with serious injuries is recovering in hospital. Sources tell Newswatch that the man is ID'd as young Paul Mizik, another familiar face to law enforcement, after a number of run-ins with the law. We are told that he is recovering in hospital. A day earlier, a middle-aged man was said to have been shot at the Provo landfill on Saturday morning. He, too, is recovering. Newswatch also received word of a number of armed robberies to have taken place this weekend, beginning on Thursday night, where a woman and her children were robbed at gunpoint in the South Dock area. Her children were assaulted during the commission of the crime. A number of items were stolen from their home, while another family days later found themselves victims of an armed robbery in the Glass Shack area. Thankfully, no one was hurt. Entering our studios is also news of a TCI man we learned was shot to death in a North Miami gentlemen's club early Monday morning. We learned that the man was from South Caicos. To date, no information on suspects or a motive have been released.
Don't touch that remote. We'll be right back. Coming up next is your weather forecast.
This is a reminder that all PTV service accounts are due on the first day of each month. Accounts should be brought up to date by the 28th of the month to avoid disruption in service. Payments may be made on our office at Stubbs Diamond Plaza, Providenciales, Mides Plaza, North Caicos, and Airport Road in South Caicos. Payments may also be made online using Scotiabank, CIBC First Caribbean Bank, and Royal Bank of Canada. Please allow 3 business days for online payments to be processed. We thank you for your cooperation.
Welcome back to Newswatch. Here's the latest in your weather forecast. Here's your weather forecast for March 16th, 2022. For the nation's capital, Grand Turk, on Wednesday, mostly sunny skies, high 81, low 76, winds east-southeast at 20 to 30 miles per hour. For South Caicos on Wednesday, mostly sunny skies, high 81, low 76, winds east-southeast at 20 to 30 miles per hour. For North and Middle Caicos, mostly sunny skies, high 82, low 76, winds east-southeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. For Parrot and Pine Key on Wednesday, mostly sunny skies, high 81, low 76, winds east-southeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. And on Providenciales on Wednesday, mostly sunny skies, high 81, low 76, winds east-southeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Now for your sunrise and sunset. Sunrise 6:58 a.m., sunset 6:59 p.m. And for your high tides and low tides, high tides 7:10 a.m., 7:31 p.m. and low tides 12:54 a.m., 1:26 p.m. And that's it for your weather forecast. We'll be right back with more
Here at People's Television, we're more than just your leading news and entertainment services. We are
Spreading the gospel.
We are breaking barriers.
We are preserving the culture. Each one, teach one.
We are committed to excellence.
We're creating change.
We are creating memories.
We are the future.
I am PTV.
I am PTV. I am PTV.
I am PTV.
We are PTV.
We are continuing the legacy. We are PTV.
Welcome back to Newswatch. The Minister of Education in the House of Assembly on Thursday announced some very exciting news for islanders looking to further their education. Free courses offered by the Turks and Caicos Islands Community College. Of course, Newswatch has your details.
That's right, you've heard correctly. Free education for Turks and Caicos Islanders and BOTC citizens looking to further their education through tertiary studies. And just in case you're in doubt about that information just revealed, here it is straight from the minister herself.
Mr. Speaker, in light of the above scenarios, this caring government, in line with the people's plan for this country, has approved at its cabinet meeting on Wednesday, March 2nd, free tuition for any Turks and Caicos Islander and BOT students to enroll at the TCITC to study any program of their choice.
Minister of Education Honorable Rachel Taylor notes that many Turks and Caicos Islanders who are unable to access tertiary education due to funding and are as a result forced immediately into the work field.
Of this, Mr. Speaker, only 13%, which is 49 students with 5 or more external examination passes, had enrolled in a tertiary education. Mr. Speaker, an alarming 308 students were found to be either working or recorded as status unknown, but not attending any post-secondary or tertiary institution. Mr. Speaker, this represents 85% of the graduating cohort that were potentially entering the workforce directly after high school with only a high school diploma or certificate.
Honorable Taylor says if this trend continues, the TCI will find it difficult to sustain an effectively functioning workforce.
There is a significant number of students of BOTC citizens that are not provided an opportunity to access tertiary education, and those that have self-financed their studies are not returning home. Mr. Speaker, the report went on to make the point that the government needs to provide access to tertiary education so that these groups of students can make a meaningful contribution to the development of the country and fill the labor gap which currently exists.
Eligible persons can begin to query and express interest in the free courses at the Turks and Caicos Islands Community College as classes begin as early as September 2022.
That brings us to the end of this edition of The Real News. I hate to leave you so soon, but of course, you can join us right back here every weekday at 6:30 p.m. and tap into our social media platforms at www.ptv8tci.com. I'm Erica Pinales, keeping you informed, updated, and affiliated. Until next time.